Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Lucas brings in an unforeseen assistance to deal with Clyde, and Sloan makes a surprising confirmation. In the present days, Sloan and Eric are getting hot and weighty in their bed, encompassed by flashing candles. Jude the infant begins to cry just as they begin the fun part. Sloan attempts to persuade Eric to allow him to cry, however the new father will not have it. Sloan tries to get the hovering Papa Bear back into bed after sitting irately on the bed while Eric feeds Jude. Similarly, as Leo thumps on the entryway and barges in, regardless of Eric's protestations that it's anything but a great time. Leo wishes to review Eric's photographs. Except if this is definitely not a great time, he says and goes to Sloan. After that, he exclaims, "The baby looks just like Eric." He then, at that point, requests a Long Island chilled tea, similarly as Melinda sees it out. "I'm sorry, acquired for this lovely couple, have you come to see the child you stole?" Leo, delighted because he is the godfather, remarks that Melinda's announcement that she will serve as the godmother is a coincidence. Days in her apartment, Sloan stands in the way of Leo and Eric talking. They are all shocked, but Sloan assures them that he is just making a joke. He then moves around the hijacking once more and asks while the dedicating is. After that, Eric states that Nicole informed him that Holly is responding to stimuli, and he wishes to hold it until Nicole returns. That is fine, Sloan attempts to disregard. Eric and Leo then go to one more space to look at his photographs, passing on Melinda and Sloan to murmur to one another about Leo sniffing around creating problems. At that point, Sloan admits that she does not believe she is ready to become a mother. Melinda feigns exacerbation and inquires as to whether she didn't consider this prior to getting a child or perusing any writing on what being another mother was like. "No, really I didn't. She needs a caretaker," yet Eric rejects, and she doesn't figure she can last an additional 18 minutes, not to mention 18 years. Days Sloan's conversing with Melinda with her hands raised, seeming as though she's close to being ready to totally go ballistic. The major change in the Emmy category. Meanwhile, Teresa tries to give herself a boost at Titan when Alex walks in and offers to help. Brady then, at that point, appears and Teresa exclaims that she wants his assistance, seriously. Brady brushes past an irritated Alex and gives her a hand with the format she's working with. When Teresa goes out to get something, Alex yells, "Brady to the rescue." The previous couple set out to really concentrate to work and Alex sneaks out inconspicuous. They wrap up and Brady consoles Teresa she'll be fine and will do extraordinary things with the magazine. She expresses her gratitude to him once more in a heartfelt manner and thanks him for supporting her when she relapsed. They both received letters from Tate and discuss how much they share in common with him. Eric Martsolf, Emily O'Brien, and Robert Scott Wilson star in Days of Our Lives on the NBC Studios Burbank set on August 11, 23. For more information, contact XJ Johnson at 310-657-9661 for episode number 14783, which aired in the United States on February 1, 24. Alex is out and about in the square when he meets Maggie, who wants to talk to him about Teresa. Maggie's concerned and inquires as to whether she's okay. Alex is attempting to show up for herself and comprehend what she's going through, yet Maggie says he can't do that. It requires maturity, patience, and empathy. Ouch. She doesn't believe he's prepared to deal with Teresa and ought to say a final farewell to her. Alex differs that that's best for Teresa, yet Maggie feels that is fine until he leaves her for the following lady. He tells her he's getting help and buckling down on himself and he's true about his affections for Teresa. According to Fine, Maggie, yet he ought to look at a junkie support bunch. You really want to help yourself so you can help her. Maggie inquires about Teresa's situation at Titan and Alex thanks her. She then, at that point, says they ought to discuss her returning too, which Alex quickly shoots down cheerfully. It won't work out. Not under my control. Brady and Teresa are talking about Tate when he returns to Titan. She expresses gratitude toward Brady again as he leaves her with Alex. So, will Brady solve all of your issues? According to Indeed, Teresa, yet she and Alex need to talk. Emily O'Brien, Robert Scott Wilson. Days of Our Lives set NBC Studios Burbank August 11, 23. Copyright XJ Johnson /studios.com 310-657-9661. Episode number 14783. US airdate February 1, 24. More, Eric Martsolf has some terrible news about Brady's genuine affection. Out in the square, Brady happens upon Maggie similarly as she gets off the telephone with somebody from the Titan board. Maggie asks how he is and says she might want to help. Lucas is attempting to do a few practices in his well-being room, however Harris cautions him not to late it. The cop then guarantees Lucas that he's protected, however Lucas still up in the air to kill him. Harris advises Lucas to trust him and leaves, so, all in all the as-of-late delivered detainee calls Chad at the Observer. Lucas, did you not get away? Lucas says no, but he needs Chad's assistance and a visitor. Harris, in the meantime, runs into Marlena at the medical clinic and they discuss the medication ring a little and his dissatisfactions, and Marlena welcomes him to have a discussion in her office. They then discuss Ava a piece when Marlena asks how he's doing. Harris isn't getting her with Stefan. It's simply obviously false. Yet, it doesn't make any difference his thought process. She continued on, he needs to acknowledge it and he must zero in on the medication scourge in any case. He gets up and leaves Marlena behind, looking thoughtful. Deidre Corridor, Steve Burton. Days of Our Lives set NBC Studios Burbank August 9, 23. Copyright XJ Johnson /studios.com 310-657-9661. Episode number 14783. US airdate February 1, 24. Back at Lucas, Chad brings Everett, causing Lucas a deep sense of shock, yet he consents to recount to them his story once Chad demands he confides in his supervisor and boss. Lucas updates them on everything's gone down and says to them Harris made things happen. He then, at that point, lets them know that Clyde is the medication ring pioneer. Clyde Weston? Chad inquires, I ought to have known. Everett inquires about Lucas' communication with Harris and the identity of the person who beat him. All at once Harris jumps in. What in the world is happening here? He is enraged. He will place everybody in risk and is courting disaster by pursuing Clyde. Harris advises them to stand by to run the story. If they agree to keep the story, he'll give them the inside scoop on the big drug bust that's about to happen. Brian Datillo, Blake Barris, Billy Flynn. Days of Our Lives set NBC Studios Burbank August 23, 23. Copyright XJ Johnson /studios.com 310-657-9661. Episode number 14783. US airdate February 1, 24. In the show's last minutes, Teresa lets Alex know that she realizes he wasn't content with Brady making all the difference. No, it's fine, he aided and that was all that made a difference. Furthermore, he wants to join a support group for addicts. You would do that for you. There's nothing on earth I wouldn't do for you, he tells her. They begin passionately kissing after marveling at their love luck. More, Allison Sweeney prods why she's back on set. Maggie tells Brady she needs back in at Titan, yet concedes Alex dismissed her return. That is a huge error, Brady asserts. He will converse with the board and check their sentiments. She simply believes should give what's all for everybody to flourish. Back at the bar condo, Harris closes the entryway after the paper folks leave, then he and Lucas begin going at one another. Lucas did what he did because he is aware that Clyde has moles in the Salem PD. I'm attempting to save lives. Counting my own. When Marlena knocks on the door to see Jude, Sloan and Eric are finally left alone and going back to fighting. Sloan drops to the bed in absolute dissatisfaction. Also, Everett and Chad are out in the Horton Square, discussing how the story will become famous online, after they interview another individual. Clyde Weston. Next on Days of Our Lives, Stephanie admits to Everett and Brady and Teresa intrude on Darlena's night. Peacock is now the only channel that airs Days of Our Lives. Subscribe to Peacock to ensure you never miss an episode. Kindly note that on the off chance that you buy something by tapping on a connection inside this story, we might get a little commission of the deal.